Tonight, the SIU is investigating after a police-involved shooting in Markham that left one person dead, another injured.
My daughter heard the gunshots. She thought it was the people working on the house.
The SIU says the plainclothes police officers were investigating a series of armed home invasions when they opened fire on two men in a quiet residential neighborhood. Plus,
officers arrived on scene and sadly found one female pedestrian she was deceased at the scene.
Police are looking for a driver after a female pedestrian was killed and another who tried to help her was injured in a series of collisions in Brampton. And
I'm here to shop. I'm here to get everything I need to, so I don't have to come back here again.
It's that time of year again, the shopping rush that is Black Friday. But in these tough economic times, are people spending as much as they used to? Good evening, I'm Kelda Yoon. One man is dead and another injured after police officers who were investigating a series of home invasions in Markham shot two men, killing one of them. It happened near Woodbine and 16th Avenue early this morning. As our Greg Ross reports, the SIU is now investigating.
The shooting happened at around 7 o'clock this morning. According to the SIU, a group of plainclothes officers in unmarked vehicles from York Regional Police were conducting an investigation on Eyre Drive in Markham when they approached a group of people in a white vehicle.
There was a confrontation between occupants of the vehicle and police officers. Two officers discharged their firearms and two men were struck. One of the men was pronounced deceased at the scene, and the second man was taken to hospital for treatment of non-life-threatening injuries.
Another man and a woman were taken into custody. The SIU says at least one of the suspects was armed, but it doesn't appear that any shots were fired at police.
I don't have any information about anyone else discharging any weapons.
According to York Regional Police, the plainclothes officers were part of a team that had been investigating a rash of home invasions in Markham, an investigation that began in September.
They have been violent home invasions involving multiple suspects, attacking people in their homes in the middle of the night and robbing them of their valuables.
Many residents in this neighborhood woke up to find their street had become a massive crime scene.
My daughter heard the gunshots. I think it was just before 7, but she didn't think much of it. She thought it was the people working on the house.
Residents were equally concerned to learn that their street may have been a potential target for home invasions.
As a homeowner, as a resident, you're always concerned about safety and home invasions.
At this point, police have not released the identities of any of the suspects, but the SIU tells us that the three people who are now in custody are all 26 years old. We should also point out that this is the third time that the SIU has been called in to investigate a shooting involving York Regional Police since October. The other two investigations are still ongoing. Greg Ross, CBC News, Markham.
A female pedestrian is dead and another who tried to help her is seriously injured tonight after a series of collisions in Brampton this morning. As Dale Manuktuk reports, Peel police are still searching for one of the drivers involved.
A 41-year-old woman is dead after being struck by multiple vehicles. It happened here around 5:45 a.m. near the corner of Steeles Avenue West and Heritage Road, just in front of an Amazon fulfillment center. The series of collisions involved three vehicles and two pedestrians.
Officers arrived on scene and sadly found one female pedestrian who was with vital signs absent, so she was deceased at the scene. Another female was taken to a trauma center with serious life-threatening injuries.
Police say that the 41-year-old woman was crossing southbound on Steeles Avenue when she was struck by a vehicle traveling east. The impact threw her into the westbound lanes where she was struck by another vehicle. The first vehicle remained on scene. The second did not.
It's a mid-sized SUV that was last seen going westbound on Steeles, and then she was struck again by a third vehicle, which did remain on scene. And the second pedestrian that's involved, it appears that she tried to help the first victim and was struck in the process.
Both women were employees at the Amazon Fulfillment Center. In a statement to CBC Toronto, a spokesperson for the company says, "We are deeply saddened to learn of the passing of our colleague, and we offer our heartfelt condolences to their loved ones. Our thoughts are also with our employee who is currently in hospital. We are providing support resources for the victims' families and our workforce." Peel police are urging the driver of the second vehicle to contact a lawyer and turn themselves in. Dale Manuktuk, CBC News, Brampton.
The cyclist who was struck and killed by a pickup truck in Midtown Toronto on Monday has been identified as a 20-year-old international student. As CBC Toronto News spoke with the victim's family in India, they identified him as Kartik Saini, a student at Sheridan College. He was cycling in the Yonge and St. Clair area when he was hit by a pickup truck and pinned underneath. Paramedics tried to revive him, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. Police are continuing to investigate the collision. An airplane carrying 134 passengers and 6 crew members overran the runway at the Waterloo Region International Airport this morning. Now, the Boeing 737 operated by Flair Airlines was arriving from Vancouver when it missed the runway as it landed. Now, fortunately, there were no reported injuries. There is some visible damage to one of the wings on the plane. The Transportation Safety Board of Canada says it is now investigating the incident. The airport was closed to commercial traffic for the rest of the day. Did you get all your Black Friday shopping done? It's that time of year again, with retailers drawing shoppers into their stores with the promise of big deals. But with the record inflation we've been experiencing, are shoppers still turning out in droves like they were before the pandemic? Our Ali Chiasson spent the day at the Eaton Centre to find out.
Good morning, come on in.
'Tis the season for
Deals!
There's always that dedicated group of shoppers willing to line up outside at 6 a.m., isn't there? What for?
They're still doing deals online as well, but if you want to get them first, just get online and get them.
I'm looking for a laptop. Mine just died, so I have to get a new one, and being here today is maybe the best time to buy a laptop.
Maybe, or maybe you're just...
Oh, I'm here to shop. I'm here to get everything I need to, so I don't have to come back here again. All the deals, I'm looking forward to it. I'm just here to shop.
Black Friday is for the savviest of shoppers who refuse to wait till the last minute to get holiday gifts.
This is the best time to buy it, so I've been asking everybody for their gift ideas since October, so I have my list ready.
But this year, holiday shopping may be a little less joyful and more painful for your wallet.
I'm way more conscious of what I'm buying, and I kind of have a limit, a set amount of limit for everybody. It's harder because it's you go into the stores and you see things that you want to buy, but it's I only have $20 per person. I can't go over it. So you have to think much more strategically about what you're buying.
Consumers are going to be looking to try to stretch every dollar they can, and they're going to be really cherry picking those discounts.
The cost of inflation, the price of gas, groceries, all going up. And for that reason,
it's not the, mad rush like it used to be.
But according to financial tech company Moneris, people are spending again.
Just in comparison to last year, it's 9.5%, so it's almost a 10% rise in change. That's pretty big.
They're just being smarter about it.
Consumers are definitely spending their time doing their research.
And that trend is not likely going to change for a while, so business owners take heed.
Make sure that you have information on your website. You have a lot of product information because they're being very discretionary now, and they want to make sure that they're making the right decision.
We did some research and
Googling and justifying those Black Friday purchases.
So I think that's why right now I've made the excuse to go shopping today because I've been good for most of the year.
Ali Chiasson, CBC News, Toronto.
All right, let's go to Dali Ashry now with a first check on your forecast. And Dali, it's been a pretty mild week temperature-wise, and that's going to continue through the weekend.
Caldo, we kicked off Friday on a mild note, and we're going to continue to see those mild temperatures throughout the next few days. What we will see change is just a matter of rain, so we're going to see some scattered showers tonight. Tomorrow we get a bit of a break, and then Sunday it's back to that rain. But first, let's see what is happening right now. Well, the daytime high in Toronto is 8 degrees. Like I said, we're sitting above seasonal temperatures today. Usually it'd be 5 degrees for the daytime high, and it's quite mild temperatures. A little cooler out in London, 7 degrees. Overall, though, pretty mild temperatures. Now, we don't have any warnings like yesterday, no fog in sight. What we do have, though, is that rain that's going to kick in tonight. It won't last too long. Saturday morning, mostly a clear day. And then Sunday, as you can see, mainly raining throughout the entire day. By Sunday, 5 o'clock, it's still going to rain. And then at around 8 o'clock, it'll start to clear up. It's not until we're going to see some winds, but then also at night tonight, it's 0 degrees for the low. And then tomorrow, 9 degrees and lots of sunshine on the way. We'll have more later on what you can do this weekend, how to enjoy it.
Sounds good. Thanks so much, Dahlia. Well, as we've been reporting for weeks now, there's been a surge in children being hospitalized with respiratory illnesses, and so much so that Sick Kids is now training staff from other hospitals who would normally be treating adults. Lorena Redekop has more.
Children with respiratory issues are overwhelming hospitals. Sick Kids is doing online training courses, including for respiratory therapists who usually work with adults. One part of the teaching, intubating a child.
It's extremely challenging, and they're stressed. They're stressed that they're going to make a mistake.
This union leader says it's tough for employees who've already been through a long pandemic, working long hours.
I'm sure they will be fine, and they're all pitching in where they can, but it's very stressful.
With these courses, she worries it means hospitals are expecting things to get even worse.
A common axiom in our line of work is hope for the best and prepare for the worst.
At Sick Kids, they're confident the healthcare workers across the province can do it. They've done 20 live webinars for community hospitals over the past few weeks, with more than 2,000 people taking part.
We're not training people to do things that they can't really do or shouldn't be doing. For many people, we're reinforcing that they actually have the knowledge, skills, ability, equipment to do what's called for.
Among the courses being given to nurses not used to working with kids are lessons on specifically observing children, plus working together with the child's parents.
And comfort care for these children. How do you hold them safely when you're carrying out some invasive procedures in a way that is as careful as possible for comforting the child and for the parents as well.
In Ottawa, the health minister says the respiratory virus issues do appear to be improving, at least for now.
We are seeing that the RSV seems to be slowing. Of course, we are heading into influenza season.
Given the uncertainty, this OBSU leader hopes the government will do more to retain and recruit healthcare staff.
We have to recognize it's a crisis and that everybody is doing everything they possibly can, but we need more supports.
Lorena Redekop, CBC News, Toronto.
It's shaping up to be another record year for food banks in the GTA. And with grocery prices continuing to rise due to inflation, the problem of food insecurity is only getting worse. Tyler Cheese spoke to one Etobicoke woman who has been struggling to bring enough food home to feed her family.
I would not mind an arm, thank you.
Sue Ellen Patchison avoids taking the bus due to severe agoraphobia. So once a week, she walks from her home on Lakeshore Avenue West to get to her local food bank.
On a good day, it'll take about 45 minutes. On a bad day, it'll take me up to an hour, depending on what my strength levels are for that day. Today, I'm doing pretty good.
She started using the Daily Bread food bank to feed her family in 2020.
I am a household of 5 adults. We are all except for one of us is on some form of disability. And with inflation and ODSP rates being what they are, we really don't have a choice.
The food bank allowed CBC Toronto to visit before opening its doors to clients for the day.
This is the first time I've seen bananas here. I don't know what brought on this gold mine, but I guarantee you this will disappear within minutes of them opening.
Patchison says she's noticed a lot of changes in the clientele here in recent months.
It's teachers, local business people, it's your neighbors, it's your church members, it's your group members. Everybody is struggling right now. So somebody may seem to have everything together, but they can't put food on their table. They got to go wherever they can get help.
She says one of the biggest challenges is the lack of variety. She'd like to see more corporate donations to address that issue.
All the major grocery stores, they all have their own brand names. And what they can donate those products for is a lot less than what the food bank can buy those products for.
Daily Bread recently published a report with North York Harvest that shows more Torontonians access food banks in the past year. The report also found the number of food bank users with jobs doubled in that time.
So what we've seen at the Daily Bread Food Bank is essentially more than a tripling of food bank usage since the beginning of the pandemic. So the systemic causes of poverty include lack of affordable housing, lack of income security, and precarious employment. So you start to tackle those three things, and then maybe there'll be some hope.
Man, it's different this time.
Patchison just hopes the situation starts to get better soon.
1 point, steady. So we're over.
Yeah.
She says due to demand, the food bank has to limit how much food each family gets.
Some nights you just don't do dinner. Last night was one of those nights, but tonight will be better.
Tyler Cheese, CBC News, Toronto.
Welcome back. The Junction has been transformed into a free interactive outdoor art gallery. Take a stroll through the neighborhood and you can now find 20 unique augmented reality installations. It's the first project of its kind for the city of Toronto. We sent our Talia Ricci to check it out.
We are in the Junction, which is a vibrant community here in Toronto, and this is Window Wonderland. It is the third consecutive year that it's happening, and it is a award-winning urban art walk.
How many murals are there in total, and how would people experience them?
You get to look at the murals and just experience them for what they are, which is beautifully curated art for the businesses. But in addition to that, if you so choose, you can download the app. It's completely free, so it creates this very accessible environment to interact and play with the art that's so immersive. My mural is based off of the Fita Con Festival that's out of Thailand. So the owner, Donald, what he really wanted to create was this experience that kind of reflected back his food, his cuisine, his menu, and the ambiance that he creates with his restaurant.
For Window Wonderland, I have a window mural and also a building mural at Articulations Art Store. Window murals and building murals really stick out and draw people to them. So I get really excited about that, and it brings people to areas that they might not know that well.
Wow, look, art's everything, right? What would be the better than art? You look at the window, look at here and there, attract people, pass through, inspiring people. Christmas time, a lot of people are going to stop here, take the photo.
Well, it's great to see more people out and about in the Junction area. Our store just opened during the pandemic, so we definitely appreciate the increased traffic. And when you animate the artwork with your phone, it really comes to life, and it's fun for the kids to see that. I love looking at all the murals.
Window Wonderland runs until January 1st. It's free to attend, and it's happening all around the Junction. Talia Ricci, CBC News, Toronto.
You are looking at a live shot of the Toronto skyline, partly cloudy this evening, becoming clear overnight. Currently, it is 5 degrees in the city. Let's go back to Dahlia now. And Dahlia, the weekend shaping up to be pretty mild. Temperatures similar to today's. Some damp conditions for part of it, though.
Kelda, that's right. Some mild temperatures today, and we're going to continue to see that trend over the next few days. We had a little bit of rain today, scattered really, but mostly I would say dry. But what we did have is those mild temperatures. I mean, take a look at this. 8 degrees for the daytime high today. We're sitting above seasonal temperatures. Usually a day like Friday, today the daytime high would have been 5 degrees. So really quite warm temperatures. It's not until overnight today where we're going to see those temperatures starting to drop. It'll reach down to 0 degrees. We're going to see a little bit of rain, but that won't be carrying through on Saturday. We get a bit of a break, like I discussed earlier in the show. It will be really quite dry tomorrow, so a great chance to head outdoors and enjoy that. But what we will see is a day like today, similar with those windy conditions. Today was quite windy earlier in the day, and we're going to see a little bit of winds gusting and picking up quite heavily on Saturday. Could be reaching up to 62 kilometers an hour, and then it'll start to ease down slowly on Saturday and then Sunday. But like I said, Sunday is when we're going to see a lot of rain. So really throughout the entire day, mostly rain. But that's a great chance to really enjoy the FIFA World Cup if you're cheering on Canada, if you're going to spend some time indoors. That's the time to do it with that rain. Overnight tonight, speaking of rain, it will be raining a little bit. 0 degrees in Toronto, but then mostly sub-zero temperatures all across the board except for St. Catharines, 1 degree. But all across the border in the Golden Horseshoe, we're seeing that rain. Now, like I said, mild temperatures really trending throughout the next few days. We're seeing a bit of a break on Saturday. Sunday, like I said, is a great chance to spend some time indoors. If you're cheering for Team Canada for FIFA, well, then that's the day to do it with that rain. And then Monday and Tuesday, a bit of a gloomy day, but still we're sitting above seasonal temperatures and mild temperatures trending through the next few days. And then Wednesday, we're back to those damp conditions in that low pressure system. Tilda?
Thanks so much, Dahlia. Finally tonight, after the death of Leafs legend Börje Salming yesterday, the team is honoring the former defenseman with a patch on their jerseys. The Leafs tweeting these photos of the patch today. The blue and yellow colors are a tribute to Salming's native Sweden, while the crown is a nod to his longtime nickname, the King. The team played an afternoon game in Minnesota sporting the patch. They won that game 4-3. Salming passed away yesterday after a short battle with ALS. He was 71 years old. And that is our show for you tonight and for the week. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, you can get caught up anytime. Just head to cbc.ca/Toronto. Shannon Martin has your next local newscast tomorrow at 6. I will see you back here on Monday. Have a great weekend, everyone.